गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरु साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः. So now here Vidyaranya Swami in Pancadasi chapter 6, Citradipa, he is looking at other schools of philosophy and finding the truti, finding the fault in their approach and to ascertain what is Atma. And we saw the Charvakas, and the Charvakas, some believe body is the Atma, some believe, and so that is not acceptable. Now another school of thought which considers pranamaya kosha to be the Atma, and the verse goes in 65th verse, Hairanya garbha pranatmau. Okay, wrong. Hairanya garbha pranatma Hairanyagarbha pranatma vadinastveva muchire chakshuradyakshalopepi pranasatve tu jivati. The worshippers of Hiranyagarbha who believe that prana is Atma say that the body continues to live even when the senses fail. Therefore, prana is the Atma and not the senses. So it is within that. And see, what is Hiranyagarbha? What is that Hiranyagarbha? You know, you heard the word Hiranyagarbha, the term. What is the golden egg or the golden womb. Another name for it given in our scriptures is Brahmaji, the creator. And what is the position of Brahmaji, the creator, or the Hiranyagarbha? It is where all possibilities, all potentiality is throbbing, but it has not become separated yet. Just like a seed, when it is ready to germinate, it has bulged with life, but the roots and shoots, the leaves, the trees, the trunk, the fruits, the flowers, nothing has come out yet. But all the possibility of emergence is there. That is Hiranyagarbha. And that Hiranyagarbha, so these people say that Hiranyagarbha, that the prana is the Atma, and say that the body continues to live even after the senses fail. So before, in the previous verse we saw, they said senses is the Atma. Someone said body is the Atma. Now they are saying that the prana is the Atma. There is yet another school of thought of believers who consider the pranamaya kosha to be the Atma. They are called as pranatmavadin. That means they are the ones who believe prana is the Atma, and they are worshippers of Hiranyagarbha. And probably when we were growing up, we also felt as a kids that without breath there is no life, isn't it? So we were all pranatmavadins at that time. They put forward the following arguments to refute the senses to be Atma and why pranamaya kosha is Atma. Chakshuradi akshalope api pranasatve tu jivati evam uchire. They say that when the senses such as eyes etc. are lost, but the prana has not left the body, in that case the life is still maintained, hence the pranamaya kosha is the atma. And you can, when you are moving around in the society and some places, you will feel, you can watch, you can observe that all these standpoints which are being given, they are presented by the people in front of you, and you can catch it. When you are in tune with the Vedantic thought, you are open to all other thoughts. You see the fallacy in their approach. They also quote scriptures in favor of their own theory about the Atma. That means everyone who's propagating something, some thought, they are taking the support of the scriptures, and the scripture said this. Just like we told about Ramayana yesterday. Prano jagarti suptepi, prano jagarti suptepi, pranashraishthyadikam shrutam, pranashraishthyadikam shrutam, koshah pranamaya samyag, proshah pranamaya samyag, vistarena prapanchitaha, vistarena prapanchitaha. The prana alone is awake even in the deep sleep state. Further, we also come across passages in scriptures where the superiority of the prana over the senses etc. is established, and the pranamaya kosha is very exhaustively dealt with in the scriptures. Therefore, prana is the atma. So their attention is not going to the mind, their attention is not going to the intellect, their attention is not going to the life principle, their attention is not going to the atmic principle, their attention is only what is keeping, because they are so gross oriented that they can't think beyond body and breath. So first one was body, this one is breath. And the pranopasana is there, which is very, very powerful sadhana to calm the mind, because but here we are not about calming the mind, but here he is saying that if the body limb is not there, if some sense is not working, pranas are still functioning, and even in deep sleep they are functioning when everything is not functioning. All senses and mind and body, everything has gone to sleep, but the pranas still continue. Therefore, they are the atma. Prana supte api jagarti. Even though in deep sleep all the senses are folded up and are not working, the prana is working. Prana, therefore, in the Shruti, the prana is considered superior to the senses. No doubt it is superior, but it is not. We can so when we say what is the atma of the body, we will say senses. What is the atma of senses, we will say breath. What is the atma of the breath, we will say mind. What is the atma of the mind, we will say intellect. What is the atma of the intellect, we will say the jiva bhav. What is the atma of the jiva bhav, we will say it is the witnessing consciousness. See? So if you go all the way, then it is okay, but he is stopping here. And there it is not saying atma is atma. When you are at that level, what is the cause? Here the atma is taken as the cause. Where are we? Not only that, the pranamaya kosha samyak vistarena prapanchitaha. The pranamaya kosha is very elaborately described in the Shruti, the scriptures, because it is considered to be atma, they say. But in this interpretation, they have taken only part of the Shruti which supports their point of view. Still, another view of the Atma is now mind is taken to be the Atma by some people. What do they say? Here we are being this enumeration of various schools of thought is being given so that we don't get caught up in this thinking, even by mistake. Mana atmeti manyanta, upasana parajanaha, pranasya bhoktrutva is it? Pranasya bhoktruta, Pranasya bhoktruta, Spashta bhoktrutvam manasastataha, Spashta bhoktrutvam manasastataha. So he says, those who are busy in upasana of different gods claim that the mind is the Atma. And you can come this. If there is no mind, how can I do devotion? If I don't have mind, how will I do the japa? If I don't have mind, how will I do my daily dealings in the world? Mind is everything. There are people, we also felt that way once upon a time, till our attention was brought to something which is higher than Atma. First it was brought to the I, then it was brought to the life principle, then it was brought to the Atma. Systematically. The prana cannot be the experiencer of any means. Why it cannot be the experience of any means? Tell me. Why prana, the breath or the life breath, why it cannot be the experience of anything?
Because it is still changing.
Okay, it is changing. What else? Most important point. It is inert. Understand? That covers everything. What is inert? Which is changing. What is inert? Which is finite. What is inert? Which comes and goes. What is inert? Which was not before and which will not be after. Understand? So whatever is inert has no capacity to experience anything. Therefore you cannot make breath as the means to know the truth. Breath as a means is only for a sadhana so that you can get into the gap between the breath. That's where you are. You are there behind the breath also, but very difficult to catch because of the oscillation. So, upasana para jnanaha manaha atman iti manyanta. Those who are followers of upasana say that the mind is the Atma, prana comes and goes. Besides, prana cannot be an experiencer. It is very obvious because it is inert. How can that which cannot experience be the Atma? Our question is that. Because it is not a living thing. It appears to be giving life. You feel that the body is alive because of the pranas. But prana itself cannot experience anything with being inert. So tataha manasaha bhoktrutvam. Therefore the mind, which is the sufferer or the enjoyer, is the Atma and not the pranas as postulated earlier. So they are saying pranas cannot be the Atma. We believe that the mind is the Atma because that is the thinking principle. That is the intelligent principle. Slowly the seeker is coming closer to his essential nature. And this is a very famous verse which is coming up now. Now the scriptures are quoted in support of the view that mind is the Atma. This is where you must have heard it many times. We also use it. Mana eva manushyanam karanam bandha mokshayo. Oh, we'll chant together. Mana eva manushyanam karanam bandha mokshayo. Shruto manomaya koshaha tenatmeti ritam manaha mana eva manushyanam karanam bandha mokshayoho. Mind alone is the cause for bondage and liberation because it is the tool. When it is applied towards the world, it becomes the cause of bondage. When it is applied towards the body, it gets attached to the body, it gets into bondage. And when the same mind is directed towards the Atmic principle or the God principle, we get liberation. So mind is the Atma. Without mind, there is no liberation. And this scriptures only say this. Therefore, this is a famous quotation from the Shrutis and other texts such as Avdhut Gita, Yoga Vashishta, Amrit Bindu Upanishad, etc. Mind alone is the cause of bondage and liberation of the human beings. In the scriptures, thus, mind is referred as Atma. Therefore, the mind is considered to be Atma. In this way, every type of thought is improved upon or cancelled by a new thought migrating from the external periphery to the core of one's personality, from gross body, the senses, the prana, and the mind. That is what we are doing. The teacher here, Vidyaranya Swami, first he cut the body as the Atma, then he cut the senses as the Atma, then he deleted the possibility of prana being the Atma. Now he is deleting the possibility of mind being the Atma. So here in the next verse he says that now the mind is also denied to be accepted as Atma. How? First, initially the scriptures was quoted, very famous. Chhutte hi, many devotees, they always quote this one, that without mind we cannot do it. Mind is important. Mind is Vijnanam Atmeti para ahuhu. Oh, Vijnanam Atmeti para Vijnanatmeti para ahu kshanikavadinaha yato vijnana moolatvam manaso gamyate sfutam. The kshanika vijnanavadi means, kshanika means momentary existence, vijnana the knowledge, vadi argumentators, those who believe in life is kshanikam. You will hear this in Buddhism, the nihilist philosophy. Everything is kshanikam. Everything is changing. We believe that. There is nothing wrong, but accept the Vijnanamaya Kosh, intellect, to be the Atma, because it is very clear that intellect is the cause of the mind. What is the difference between mind and intellect? Tell. हाथ से तो पता नहीं चल रहा मेरे को. Articulate it.
Mind is where it's thinking in terms of whether it's likes and dislikes. So the intellect is where decision power is there.
Okay.
The decision takes in the intellect.
Intellect makes the decision. Everyone agrees? Yes. And what does mind do? Mind can't make decisions. Then what does mind do then? Huh?
Gathers the data and does its own thing.
Pardon me?
Gathers the data and does its own
Gathers the data from the senses. So all the data that is coming through the senses, it is in the storehouse of the mind. It is the collection center. And from there, then all the data is sorted in different files by the intellect. That is one way of putting it. Huh? Another way of putting it is, mind is idam, intellect is aham. Got it? We saw in one of the verses before yesterday. When we started off with that. So intellect is aham, mind is idam. Yes, what you said, mind is emotion, intellect is decision. The others belonging to the Buddhist school of Kshanika Vijnanavad believe that the intellect is the Atma and not the mind, as postulated by Upasana-oriented devotees. This school believes that the Atma is the momentary state of the intellect with every experience, because of which any experience is possible. Further, they argue that because the mind is an effect and the intellect the cause, and that is evident. They say that. And therefore, in the Buddhist philosophy, you will see there is too much importance given on the rebirth. Every Dalai Lama is born again, and they will, when he leaves the body, they will look within 3 years there to find. And they will find this, and they take the stuff, and the child recognizes, this is the one. He has to recognize 3 things. And then once they have shortlisted the person, then they ask questions. He should be able to answer those also. Okay? देखो तो उनके जितने भी all the mandalas that you see of Buddhist in the monasteries, they are all about cycle of life. All cycle of life. But what is mind the cause, intellect the cause and mind the effect? Is that true? I'm asking you. Is intellect the cause and mind the effect?
It's the reverse.
No. Reverse तो possible नहीं है. The sutler has to be the cause of the grosser, isn't it? So if body, if you want to go by cause and effect, body is the cause, effect, and breath is the cause. Breath is the effect, mind is the cause. Mind is the effect, intellect is the cause. So we don't want to get caught up in that type of thinking. Our scriptures say, which they don't believe, that is their issue is. Our antahkaran, our mind is made up of 4 things. You know that?
Yeah.
What is that? Mana, buddhi, chitta, ahankar. Correct? So all this is mind only. But functional difference is there. That thought which is of indecisiveness is called mind. That thought which is of decisiveness is called intellect. That thought which is of the nature of memory of the past is called as chitta. And that which owns all the other thoughts is called as ahankara, which is I. This they will not accept, because then their cause and effect theory will go to dogs. See? In fact, mind and intellect are both merely functional differences of the same stuff called inner instrument. समझ गए? Same thing is coming up. That one instrument, antahkaran, itself is divided into 4. So there is no cause and effect there. How can one be the cause of, you can say it, but how does it, is the ocean the cause of wave? It seems that way, but everything is water. So where is cause and effect? Only in our imagination. How can one assign cause and effect relationship between intellect and mind? Aham vrittiridam vrittihi, aham vrittiridam vrittihi, ityantah karanam dvidha, ityantah karanam dvidha, vijnanam syadaham vrittihi, vijnanam syadaham vrittihi, idam vrittir mano bhavet, idam vrittir mano bhavet. The antahkarana, inner faculty of perception, is divided into 2. That is the I thought and the this thought. And the I thought is the intellect, while the this thought is called the mind. In other words, in the intellect, the aham is there, aham vritti is there. Aham vritti continues to be aham vritti all the time. Remember, in every thought, the triputi is there: subject, object, and instrument of knowledge. The subject always remains the subject only, but the object keeps changing. So where is the object coming? In the mind. Where is the subject? Is the same subject. Yes, it is repeating again and again. Aham, aham, I see, I hear, I touch, I feel. So idam is changing, but aham remains the same. That aham as a thought also is changing with the stimuli, with the idam. But that I thought is called as the intellect. Then here he says the inner instrument is divided into 2 categories as I thought and this thought. Further, this thought is the I thought is the intellect, while this thought is the mind. So same stuff, just like same man divided into the husband and the father. Referential difference is there. Where are these? Imaginary. Mine is the real. Similarly, the mind is one stuff, but with the reference to idam, it becomes the aham. The moment this duality comes about of aham and idam, that aham, where does aham appear? That is that special light. What is idam? The general light. This thought is further elaborated to establish cause and effect relationship between intellect and mind. Aham pratyaya bijatvam, aham pratyaya bijatvam, idam vritteriti sfutam, idam vritteriti sfutam, aviditva swamatmanam, aviditva swamatmanam, bahyam veti natu kvachita, bahyam veti natu kvachita. He says, the I thought is the seed of the this thought. This is evident because without knowing oneself, without I thought, one cannot have any objective knowledge. This is their argument we are looking at. That without the aham, idam cannot be known. Without you have to be there in order to know something else. If you are not there, how can you know anything? Therefore, they say aham is the cause and everything else that is known is the effect. Therefore, mind is the effect, all thisness or thatness is the effect, and aham is the cause. Without becoming aware about oneself, one cannot know about the objective perception. In other words, after establishment of aham vritti only, the idam vritti has existence. Now they have gone into sequence. We are very clear. Is there a sequence of that first aham will come, then idam will come? Think. It's first subject must appear, then object must appear. Is there a rule like that? Here we are talking from thought point of view. First I thought will come and then I see the laptop. So I first will come and only then when the I gives validity to the laptop, then laptop will come. Is it like that? Or are both of them appearing at the same time? Subject and object both appear at the same time. Shiva Shakti both appear at the same time. Ishwar Prakriti both appear at the same time. There is no lag there. Maybe they are talking about it like this because they go into shunya. There is nothing, now there is something. So I was there before, now I see something. So they are maybe talking like that. So from this, it is most obvious that the I thought, that is the aham vritti, is the seed for the manifestation of idam vritti or this thought. Therefore, the vijnanam is the cause and the mind is the effect, as stated in verse 69. This is their conclusion. Who? The Buddhist philosophy. Kshanikavadi. The nature of this vijnana is further elaborated. Kshane kshane janmanashau, kshane kshane janmanashau, aham vrittermitau yataha, aham vrittermitau yataha, vijnanam kshanikam tena, vijnanam kshanikam tena, swaprakasham swatomitehe, prakasham swatomitehe. It is due to the repeated births and deaths of this I thought that it is called kshanika, subject to modifications. Further, it knows itself, therefore it is self-effulgent, therefore intellect is the Atma. You can use all arguments to prove something. And that's what they're doing. That's what these fellows are doing. First they call it kshanika. Kshanika means temporary, finite. It comes and goes, it comes and goes. With every thought it is coming and going. So first they are already accepted that it is impermanent. And then they are saying it is Atma which is permanent. अरे यार decide करो क्या बोलना है. The aham vritti referred here as vijnanam is subject to constant appearance and disappearance. Because of this nature of momentary existence of aham vritti, it is called kshanikam. Further, The aham vritti is independent of idam vritti and is self-ascertained and self-illumined. Therefore, it is also called swaprakasham, they say. They are giving the argument why aham vritti is the atma, why intellect is the atma. So, with the various practices, you go into samadhi, there is no idam. When you are in samadhi, there is no idam, but aham is still there. I am there. Ammachi does I am meditation. the Nisargadatta Maharaj does I am that meditation. And eventually that also drops away, or I and that merge into each other. See? And because I know myself, when there is no idam on the seat of meditation, in the samadhi where there is nothing to associate with, I still am. And that's the conclusion. Because therefore, this I thought is self-illuminating. But our rule is what? That which is appearing and disappearing cannot be conscious. Anything that is finite cannot be conscious. Anything that is temporary cannot be self-effulgent. Self-effulgent has to be a permanent principle. What are they taking? Appearance and disappearance of I, because it is going on continuously, and because it is not changing like idam, therefore it is the Atma. An authority of Agama Grantha is quoted to establish the Vijnana to be Atma. Vijnanamaya koshoyam, Vijnanamaya koshoyam, Jiva ityagama jaguhu, Jiva ityagama jaguhu, Sarva samsara etasya, Sarva samsara etasya, Janmanasha sukhadikaha, Janmanasha sukhadikaha. This Vijnanamaya kosha is the Jivatma, so declare the scriptures. This total world of experience like birth, death, joy, sorrow, etc. are for the Jivatma. This Vijnanamaya kosha is the Jivatma, thus declare the Agama Shastras. We see such a statement in Taittiriya Upanishad. The world of transmigration full of joys and sorrows belong to this Jivatma. All this is true. The experience of the world is for the I. Past and future is for the I. Joys and sorrows are for the I. Likes and dislikes are for the I. Hunger and thirst is for the I. Heat and cold is for the I. Everything is for the I. But that doesn't conclude that I is the Atma. Yet another school of the Bauddhas within the Bauddhic philosophy, they are the Shunyavadins, is taken for discussion for establishing negation of the above view that Vijnanamaya kosha is the Atma. Now understand how we have migrated from body to senses, senses to breath, breath to mind, and there from the mind, the idam being the effect, intellect being the aham, that being the Atma. Now within this intellect there is another state. Till now aham was observing everything, and their conclusion was aham is continuous, and that is true. With every thought it is there. Everything else changes, I don't change. I thought doesn't change. But now within the intellect another possibility is there, and that is the shunya, void. When there is what I was suggesting before, that a point comes in this inquiry where all the objective objects of perception or thoughts, the idam, completely dissolves and there is nothing to be observed. And that is where the Buddhist philosophy concludes. That is where the Buddhist philosophy concludes, the shunya. Shunya is the void. They say we cannot know the Atma. Well, these ones. So let's see what they say before I say something and confuse you. Vijnanam kshanikam natma, Vijnanam kshanikam natma, Vidyud abhrama nimeshavata, Vidyud abhrama nivesh nime, Vidyud abhrama nimeshavata, Brahma Shavata, Anyasyanupalabdhatvat, Anyasyanupalabdhatvat, Shunyam madhyamika jaguhu, Shunyam madhyamika jaguhu. He says, the madhyamikas, the believer, they are the believer within the Buddhist philosophy, they are the believers of non-existence. They propose that the Vijnana, intellect, cannot be the Atma because it appears for few moments like the lightning in the clouds or the blinking of the eyes. True, they have come to the correct conclusion. So within Buddhism, just like in the Charvaka philosophy, they were cancelling each other, in Bauddha philosophy also they are cancelling each other. Some believe intellect is the Atma, others saying, in Buddhist philosophy are saying intellect is not the Atma because it is also kshanikam. So one is looking at the continuity of I thought coming and going. That coming and going is seen as the continuity, but I is the same. Whereas with the other people, with the Shunyavadins, they say, oh, but it is coming and going. Their attention is on coming and going. Their attention is not on the repetition of the same. They think it's coming and going, so it's also kshanikam. So that cannot be the Atma because it appears for a few moments like the lightning in the clouds or the blinking of the eyes. Therefore, there being nothing other than the intellect which is temporary, the Shunya, non-existence is the Atma. The momentarily appearance, Vijnanam, cannot be the Atma as the lightning in the in the clouds or the blinking of eyes is also momentary and cannot be Atma. So is true of the Vijnanamaya Kosha. Then, thus having negated the Vijnanamaya Kosha, there remains nothing. Hence, the Madhyamikas declare that this nothing, this Shunyam is the Atma. So many people fall a prey to this. All those people who are going to Vipassana, they are what you call, they are the guinea pigs of this experiment of Shunyavad. They go there, empty mind, get confused and come back. Because afterwards, when you go to, why your mind becomes empty, you know there. You are not allowed to eat. If no food, no thoughts. You are not allowed to interact with people. You have to be by yourself in the mind. Many people have come to me who have lost their minds after coming from there. And when you come out, if you enjoyed that for few days, 3 days, 5 days, after that, the mind takes revenge. मेरे को ऐसे करता है. You controlled me for, you didn't allow me to think. Now I'll show you. And there is a crowd of thoughts, and this fellow loses the plot. See? But it's but they have never experienced a quiet mind forever in their life. So when they go to that Vipassana thing, they experience that quietness of the mind. Oh man, it was fantastic. I want to do it for 10 more days. I want to do it for 15 days. It becomes a drug. But can nothingness be an experience? Can absence be an experience? This they will not inquire into. All they are doing is lulling their senses, lulling their mind, not allowing thoughts to erupt. We are not, remember, in Vedanta, we are not against appearance and disappearance of thoughts. We accept both with the same equanimity. We are not against them. So we are not here to empty our mind. No, if it gets, every night it becomes empty, I don't fight it. And when it fills up, I live my life during the day. But how to live, that is what we are teaching in Vedanta. With what approach, what attitude we should have towards the presence and absence of thoughts. See? They established their theory of non-existence by quoting scriptures and also comment on the status of the world. So every one of these fellows is quoting the scriptures. It was told in one of the verses, the devil is quoting the scriptures. Asadevedamityadau idameva shrutam tataha ज्ञानज्ञेयात्मकं सर्वं जगद्भ्रांति प्रकल्पितम. Even the scriptures declare that this world was non-existent before creation. Therefore, the world that is known and unknown is a mere projection of delusion. Therefore, non-existence is proved to be Atma. So they are using same. So from Sanatan Dharma, the Vedas only, they have taken all these thoughts. Buddhist philosophy has come out of our Sanatan Dharma only. But where they are stuck, creation was non-existent before, and it will be non-existent afterwards. And it is only appearing to be existing in the middle. It is only appearing to be existing in the middle. Therefore, non-existence is the truth. ये सब all these Hariom, all these things have to be. We also fall prey sometimes. When we are having chat with someone or we are having a discussion, our mind can very quickly, easily go into that tangent. Especially when we are in meditation. Oh, there was nothing, it was so blissful. Gaya kaam se. Nothing is blissful, no doubt. Deep sleep is also blissful. But our goal is not nothing. This world was non-existent before creation. Thus the scripture always have declared the non-existence of the world. In view of this, the world of duality of knower known difference is projected and is not real. We accept that. Vedanta also declares that knower known duality is a projection. Therefore, it is implied, but what is their conclusion? That nothingness is the conclusion. Nothingness is that non-existence is the Atma. The fallacy in the above argument and conclusion is pointed out by the teacher. Now, where are these people going wrong in their contemplation and coming to this conclusion? That is because otherwise we'll say, as they are talking or as we are going from body being the Atma, senses being the Atma, mind, breath being the Atma, mind being the Atma, intellect being the Atma, I being the Atma, and then non-existence being the Atma. If you listen it few times, you will be convinced. If you keep exposing yourself to that argument, you will get convinced. Because they are so enthusiastically propagating their theory. And because you have not studied everything, and they will ask such questions, and you will have no answer for that, and you will say, yeah, I think what he is saying is true, or his conclusion is correct. निरधिष्ठान विभ्रांतेः अभावादात्मनो स्थिता शून्यस्यापि साक्षित्वाद् अन्यथा नोक्तिरस्यते. There being, now it is being counteracted by the teacher Vidyaranya Swami, that what conclusion the Shunyavadins came to, that non-existence is the Atma. We are refuting that now. And where they are going wrong in their thinking? There being no superimposition without a substratum, one has to accept the existence of Atma. Superimposition cannot happen by itself. There has to be. How can you superimpose wave can wave be superimposed on nothing? There has to be water. Only then wave can be superimposed on the water. And we know the status of water. It is permanent. We know the status of wave. It is a temporary. It is coming and going. But because there is wave, water has not lost anything. They are saying waves are appearing, they are superimposed on nothing, on non-existence. Are yaar? But now apply that to yourself. This was an example out there. Now apply it to yourself. Because I can't see mind, there is no mind. So where are the thoughts appearing? Where is the subject-object duality appearing? Is it appearing in non-existence, or there has to be some foundation on which the duality is appearing and disappearing? What does your logic tell you? What does your mind tell you? There has to be something, isn't it? And that if there is something on which something is superimposed, that which is being superimposed cannot be superimposed on nothing. There has to be something. That substratum is the Atma. Non-existence cannot be the Atma. This is our argument. Now when we say like this is how Mandana Mishra, when Shankaracharya went and argued with him, had debate, Mandana Mishra. He was a great Buddhist. He was under Shunyavadi. And he defeated him. His wife declared, Shankaracharya is the winner. Then he became the Shankaracharya of Sringeri Math. Sureshwaracharya, I think Sureshwaracharya. An illusion is not possible to appear without a substratum. You need the sky. You need the clouds. You need the raindrops in the water, etc., etc., in order for rainbow to appear. You need the heat at a particular time of the day for the mirage to appear. You need the eye to press it so I can see double of all of you. That double of all of you is an illusion. But if I don't have an eye and I say, no, I'm pressing nothing and I'm seeing so many, impossible, isn't it? You need the man for the illusion of all the roles to appear. All the roles, they cannot come out of non-existence. Man has to be there. Exactly the same way. Aham and idam, the duality of the subject and the object, they have not come out of non-existence, they have come out of existence. And that substratum, that foundation on which they are appearing and disappearing, meaning they are superimposed, or that is the Atma. An illusion is not possible to appear without a substratum. Therefore, to declare the world to be an illusion without a substratum of existence is not acceptable. Furthermore, Atmana Astita. Hence, the illusion of the world is projected on the substratum of existence, which is nothing but Atma. In addition to this non-existence is also established by the witness who is not non-existent. So, who says every day that I had a deep sleep? Who says? There was no thought in deep sleep. There was no mind functioning in the deep sleep. There was no intellect making decision in the deep sleep. Then who is this fellow who says there was deep sleep? Who is this? Who is this one who in this 2-3 seconds that I gave a gap, you are all waiting like the Nandi in front of Lord Shiva. You are all waiting. There was no thought in your mind. You are waiting, what is he going to say next? You are still there. You are still there. So you know that there was no thought in the mind. You cannot say, I was not there and I noticed there was no thought. You cannot say that. Someone is observing that now you are listening, and when that 3-4 seconds of gap was there was no stimuli coming to you by way of words or thoughts. Mind was empty and you observed. Your mind was empty. But you were there. That you is not non-existence. Non-existence of all stimuli, of all thoughts, aham or idam, is also known by someone. Non-existence cannot know non-existence. Existence alone, when we say non-existence, shunya, there is nothing. That nothing also is. That nothing is also superimposed on something, that is the Atma. So in this way, this non-existence is also established by the witness who is not non-existent. So you are the eternal witness of both appearance and disappearance, of fullness and emptiness. One person I know, he's got an email, fully empty at yahoo.com. Fully empty. Contradiction. Nice one, isn't it? Or else, अन्यथा te asya uktitaha uktihi na. Or else you madhyamikas will not be able to even to establish the non-existence without the presence of Atma, and therefore the Atma is non-existence or shunyam is not correct. Tell me, after hearing this discussion, where are these madhyamikas going wrong? What is the root cause of their problem?
Believing in non-existence.
Correct. Say it more simply. No. When I say, you'll say, oh yeah. They are objective in their approach. You understand what I'm saying? They are looking outwards. First they saw the body, then they saw the senses, then they saw the breath, then they saw the mind, then they saw the intellect, then they saw the I thought, then they saw the shunya. But they are not ready to come to the one who is watching, the one who is witness of all this. They are not ready to accept that about, because objective approach. They want to experience. In that name of experience, what we have as dharana, dhyan, samadhi, 3. Or we have drishyanu savikalpa samadhi, shabdanu savikalpa samadhi, and nirvikalpa samadhi. These fellows have divided into 14. They have delved so deep into it. They have dissected the mind for that, and there are 14 different types of samadhis for them. But they will not come to be the subject. Samadhi is not equal to realization. Understand this. Sitting for years together is not equal to realization. Sitting years together with an empty mind in nirvikalpa samadhi is not equal to realization. I met one person, I told you once in one of the classes. I was staying in Haridwar. I had just gone for one day to take bath in the Gangaji. We took the morning train, and next day morning I came back. In the evening I was sitting there, and this fellow came and he started chat, and he told me, young 32-year-old, He was taken by some master. He wanted to experience Nirvikalpa Samadhi. The master took him to his cave in the Himalayas somewhere. He said, "What do you want?" I said, "I told you I want Nirvikalpa." "Here, take it." He put his hand on his head. For 6 years he was in Nirvikalpa Samadhi. 6 years. And after 6 years, he felt a tremor and he came out of the Samadhi and he saw the master. He was breathing his last. So naturally, if he is breathing his last, his sankalpa is also becoming weak. Therefore, he came out. But from that day till he has met me, he is only looking for how do I get into Nirvikalpa Samadhi. Because that was Master's grace that he got the experience of no mind. But he has not trained himself to have no mind. He has not understood what no mind is or how to get to that no mind consciously. And he is running around all over India. Someone tell me how to do it. How do I get there? After denying all philosophical views about Atma, the final word about Atma is declared. Now you understand the various. So the Sankhya philosophy, different Atmas, Charvakas, body is the Atma, senses are the Atma, breath is the Atma, then the mind is the Atma, then the Bauddhas, Vijnanamaya Kosh, the intellect is the Atma, and within the Bauddha philosophy that the non-existence is the Atma. All this we have refuted. It cannot be. Don't even think that way. Don't go in that direction. Now, in conclusion, Anyo Vijnanamayata, Anyo Vijnanamayata, Anandamaya Antaraha, Anandamaya Antaraha, Astityevopalabdhavya, Astityevopalabdhavya, Iti Vaidika Darshanam, Iti Vaidika Darshanam. Other than the Vijnanamaya Kosha, and subtler than it is the Anandamaya Kosha. You know, we have the Pancha Koshas, Annamaya Kosh, Pranmaya Kosh, Manomaya Kosh, Vijnanamaya Kosh, and Anandamaya Kosh. Correct? Anandamaya Kosh is the bliss sheath, is the deep sleep state. And that is the non-existence. But it is still a part of what? Part of the koshas, meaning part of the body. It is not the substratum. So here, bringing that point, he says, other than the Vijnanamaya Kosha and subtler than it is Anandamaya Kosha, and therefore Atma has to be accepted as existence. This is the declaration of the Vedas. The Upanishad declares that subtler and other than the Vijnanamaya Kosha is Anandamaya Kosha. In this way, Atma is accepted to be other than the Vijnanamaya Kosha, and it is not non-existence but positive presence or existence. This view of the Upanishad is to be taken as final authority for us. Final authority is not our is not our imagination. Our final authority is the Vedas, and our experience must match as what is declared by the Vedas. Our experience is not in conjunction with the Vedas and we declare, no, Vedas are wrong. No, then where will you go after that? That's what the Buddhists have done. They don't accept the Vedas. That's what the Arya Samajis have done. They don't accept the Vedas. Different views about the nature of Atma and its analysis are given in the following shlokas. Kya time ho gaya? We'll do one and then we'll conclude. Anur Mahan Madhyamo Anur Mahan Madhyamo Veti Anur Mahan Madhyamo Veti Evam tatrapi vadinaha, evam tatrapi vadinaha, bahudha vivadantehi, bahudha vivadantehi, shruti yukti samashrayat, shruti yukti shrayat. After having accepted Atma to be existence, now we have come to realize, we have understood body is not the Atma, senses are not the Atma, breath is not the Atma, mind is not the Atma, intellect is not the Atma, and non-existence is also not the Atma. In other words, the Panchakoshas are not the Atma. Non-existence is the Anandmaya Kosh. See? So all these are not the Atma. There are many conflicting arguments regarding the nature of the Atma. If it is like that, of an atom or medium size or large enough on the strength of scriptural statements and logic. So, like in the Jains, in the Jain philosophy, they say Atma is anoriya, is like an anu, is like an smaller than an atom, etc., etc. So we'll see what are the different ways people perceive the Atma to be and what actually it is. First we have established Atma is the substratum. None of the Panchakoshas are the substratum. Atma is the substratum. Now what are the different takes on this Atma here? So here it says, not only they make their own observations about the nature of Atma, but also argue with the help of supporting scriptural statement. The first view about the size of Atma to be that of an atom is taken for discussion. Majedar hai. But these are all the doubts that come into our mind sometime or the other. Anu vadantyantaraalaha, anum vadantyantaraalaha, Sukshmanadi pracharataha, Sukshmanadi pracharataha, Romna sahasrabhagena, Romna sahasrabhagena, Tulyasu pracharatyayam, Tulyasu pracharatyayam. He says that some Antarala Vaishnavites sect, I never heard of that, but Vaishnavite we have heard, Antarala, within them there are many subsects, declare that the Atma is like an atom, for it moves within the subtle capillaries that are thinner than the 1,000th part of a hair. No, but we never studied, because you didn't study doesn't mean that people are not believing. Where we have studied all the scriptures, we are not. There is no end to imagination. So here they say, some of the devotees of Lord Vishnu say that the Atma being able to move in the tiniest capillaries must be of the size of an atom. This Atma is able to move within such capillaries that are as thin as 1,000th of a hair in thickness. In view of this, the Atma is considered to be of the size of an anu, the atom. Some people think Atma is an atomic. They substantiate their views with the authority of the scriptures. This comes in the Kaivalya Upanishad, this verse. Anoraniyan shunu anuhu. उसमें तो आता है अनोरणीयान महतो महीयान, वो वाला नहीं है ये. अनोरणीयाने शोणुः सूक्ष्मात् सूक्ष्मतरं त्विति, सूक्ष्मात् सूक्ष्मतरं तिति, अणुत्वमाहुश्रुतयः शतशोथसहस्रशः. The Atma is not only subtler than the atom, but it is subtler than the subtlest. In this way, the scriptures declare in many 100,000 ways about the Atma to be an atom. This Atma is smaller than the Anu, atom. It is indeed subtler than the subtlest. In this manner, the scriptures declare in 100,000 ways the Atma to be of the size of an atom or subtler than the atom. Some more quotes are on the same theme are Balagrashata Bhagasya Balagrashata Bhagasya Shatadhakalpitasya cha Shatadhakalpitasya cha Bhago Jivasa Vigneya Bhago Jivasa Vigneya Iti chaha parashrutihi Iti chaha parashrutihi. Some other scripture statements declare that the Atma, the Jiva, is as small as the 100,000th part of the tip of the hair. This I have heard before. I didn't know about the moving in the capillaries, but this one I have heard. Especially in Kriya Yoga and in Kriya Yoga, in Autobiography of a Yogi, in Play of Consciousness by Swami Muktananda, the Siddha Yoga Marg, in that they all talk about this. That it is the 100th part of the hair tip that is further divided over 100 times. Baapre, kitna? In this manner, other scriptures also declare the Atma to be as small as an atom. Having stated the views of those who consider the Atma to be of the size of atom, now the others who consider the Atma to be of medium size are taken for consideration and discussion and analysis in the next 3 shlokas. We'll look at it after some tea. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Sit quietly for a moment. Hari Om.